Freak of Nature by Heart Attack Man.
Now I'm stuck to C4. I'm free to rule with explosives. Violated void of emotion. I'm not afraid to go up in flames. In a moment's notice. I don't know what's gotten into me. I've got a sudden urge to blow it all to smithereens. This could go one.
This is the Cleveland, Ohio outfit's third studio album, released on the 26th of May via Many Hats distribution. Freak of Nature consists of 10 tracks, clocks in at around a half hour, and is the much anticipated follow-up to 2021's Thoughts and Prayers EP. And I'm having like a Mandela effect because I really thought the name of that one was Thoughts, as in like THOT.
Real missed opportunity.
And Prayers.
I do remember the prayers ending in a Z.
It did, 100%.
I would be highly disappointed to find out that Many Hats distribution wasn't also like running a grocery store,
Maybe an apparel store
a
instead?
retail enterprise. I'm just saying if they wear many hats, like if that's the face of their business, like if that's the name of the business,
Right.
like I'd want them to honor it. You know what I mean?
Many Hats Records, Many Hats Brewing Company.
They do customer service on the side, like a
Yeah.
lot of shit. You know
They
what I
have
mean?
mayonnaise.
Like you gotta really
Yeah.
live the name. One of the probably biggest standout aspects of this record for me is that it was produced by Lil Aaron.
Yeah, it's a really intriguing aspect of this record heading into it. It's like Thoughts and Prayers, great EP. I like Hammy, this band, Heart Attack Man. But like seeing the producer tag, it being Lil Aaron, piques my interest in a really big way.
I feel like it's aligned sensibilities that get me really excited because I feel like Heart Attack Man as a personality and Lil Aaron as a personality match very well. So I would hope and found that it did come across on this album because it is very silly and very fun in all the ways that I would have anticipated it to be.
Listen,
just reading like the
Sam,
release, the press
You know
release.
what they say? You put two personalities in a room and
You get a podcast.
that's how pop punk albums are born. Come on now. Everyone knows that.
So overall, I think this is very sharply written. Like, I think there's a lot of clever melodies in here.
Yeah, emphasis on the sharp. Like, this album is just flat out sharp. Production wise, sharp. Lyrically, sharp. Delivery, sharp.
Sharp.
It's sharp as a knife.
Very sharp. Yeah. And I think there are a lot of incredibly good, like, melodies that are just begging to be screamed out loud as questionable
In
as
private. Yo,
I mean, at the end of the day, at the end of the day,
at the top of your lungs in private.
I actually don't think Heart Attack Man is doing anything as nearly like questionable as the vast majority of artists I would hear on pop radio. Like,
not at all.
Like, by virtue of comparison, this is probably fairly tepid. I just think within the pop punk sphere,
Yeah.
this does feel like it pushes the boundaries a little bit, which is fun.
Man, this album's like like, you know how people have like a private Twitter? Like, this is band's private album. Like, the main
Interesting.
write the pop punk album for their fans, but like, this is the one they actually want to write.
They accidentally released this on Maine, is what you're saying? Yeah. One thing that really kind of stood out to me about the general sound of this band is how much it reminded me of like the very early 2000s sweet spot where pop punk was very popular, but major labels hadn't entirely figured out
What
how
to
to
do with
meddle
it.
with it.
Yeah.
Right? Like before they were like, you, Good Charlotte, and you, Blink-182, you're emo now, and all this other shit, right? Like back in that like that very fine like Sum 41, Blink-182, Green Day, like that 3-year window where they were putting out like the silliest bullshit, but it was like chart-topping silly bullshit, I think is exactly where this Heart Attack Man album kind of lives for me.
No, I fully
Like, it's
agree.
just irreverent enough, and none of it feels like manufactured for attention.
It's not like stiff or anything. It's very loose. It's I don't know. I think this album's really good.
Yeah, I think it's really
it's just
strong
where I
as
land
well.
on it.
It's got summer romp energy, you know? It's got roll your windows down and like the cars next to me at the stoplight be damned. I'm yelling I've got a gun in my pocket because it's a really catchy thing to sing along to.
Bro, I'm like, people are out there like, vote yes on this new law, and I'm driving past and I'm like, yo, shoot that bitch like a Kennedy. Like,
Precisely. Yes, that's
bro.
precisely it. So what were the standout tracks to you in particular?
Like a Kennedy is Song of the Summer. No doubt in my fucking mind. Song goes insane. Do you ever just want to fucking go out presidential, Sam? You trying to go out presidential
Ain't no other way to
style?
go out. Ain't no other way to go out.
Like, dog, just the whole fucking, the idea that we just wanted to write a song about the fucking JFK assassination,
You said there's like a slight
and
amount
that
of
we pull it off, and that it's also like a bop on top of it.
incredible Bob.
Yeah,
You said there's
so
a small amount of lore here too.
We got a breakdown on Brooklyn Vegan, I think it's called.
Yeah.
With the band, and Eric was talking about how, like, breaking down every song on here, we get to like a Kennedy, and it's like, yeah, no, I just wanted to sort of write a song about this. And also, like, on the low, I might have had like a family member sort of involved in like the planning of that.
That's
But,
incredible
like,
history.
Next
That's
song,
incredible
next song,
history.
Late to the Orgy, like, and you're like, what?
Right. I love the range of material covered over the span of this album. Stuff like God Called Off Today, like there's just these really like sort of quirky, what's the secondary meaning here, because everything feels silly, but part of me is like, I bet, and this sort of came to light yesterday, the day when this dropped, when people when there was a review comment going around, I think Heart Attack Man actually shared it, for 9 on Your Bedside, and I think the review comment was something along the lines of like, I don't know, this song's kind of scary when it's about your ex or something, right? And
Right.
it kind of read it surface level pop punk has to be about this, right? And then I think you said he specified what it was about on Brooklyn Vegan as well.
So, Not on Your Bedside is apparently about it's about a certain thing, but it's from a different perspective. So I'll tell you what it's about, which is the fact that Eric, the singer in this band, was being stalked by someone, right? And threatened. His life was being threatened. He was getting phone calls talking about how this person was planning on killing him, whatever. So he started sleeping with a 9 on his bedside. But this band, being the clever musical artists that they are,
Right.
wrote it from the perspective of that stalker, instead of Eric just being like, oh, this is my trauma, these are my feelings on it. It's that stalker being like, hey, here's how I'm gonna fucking traumatize you.
And it's so fascinating to learn all of that, because I feel like I picked up on so little of these things myself. So much of this for me was just, it has, and I mean this in a positive way, such incredibly strong, like, throwaway energy. This for me is like almost a sister album to that 100 Gex album we got earlier this year, where it's like, there could be a rich secondary meaning to this, but so much of it is just like, I'm singing about a frog on the floor, and that is just silly and fun.
So, I mean, there is a secondary meaning to a couple of the songs, and I feel like we touched on like the bigger two, like a Kennedy, 9 on Your Bedside, but I think there's less of a secondary meaning to a lot of these songs than there is a secondary intention. Also, on that Brooklyn Vegan interview, we talk on the song Stick Up, which is a single off this record, where we wanted to write like an intensely melodic and like hit single type of song, but we wanted to like make the lyrics so fucking like non-friendly that it couldn't take off.
Incredibly
Right.
successful. Incredibly
100%.
successful. Though it's such a fascinating challenge because if then the song takes off, I don't know, like, what does this say about society?
Sure. But like, and then you mentioned God Called Off today, and there was mention of like, we just wanted to write like a good song, but also have like some country undertones and like the lyricism. And it's like, yeah, no, I like that a lot of what this band does is just very intentional, practiced in the mirror. We talked about how we wanted to not like write a traditional like 20-second intros, 20-second intro before it hits like a full new song, but it was like that song was intended to be like the introduction song to the album, and how we actually pick up where we did from the closing track on that last EP, and like the opening lyric on this song calls back to that. And it's also just sort of like just an intro track. It's not like a whole like chorus thing, right? It's
So you're saying even
I love the breakdown of
even
this
the
album.
funny guy on Twitter contains multitudes?
100%. I love the window into the mind that is Heart Attack Man. I think that this band's super fascinating from top to bottom. They're really great songwriters. I think partnering up with super stardom in fucking Lil Aaron it's a match made in heaven, honestly. And a ton of standout moments on here. Like I mentioned, like Kennedy, Stick Up definitely gets its fair share of attention. But like C4 is also an unspoken hero on this album.
And I
at the
believe that was
moment.
like a go-ahead single for like the day of this release as well, which was a very good call. The one last thing I wanted to touch on is I think you said "See You on the Other Side" when
Actually-
we were talking earlier,
Late to the Orgy's fucking insane too.
which is the only literal song on this, by the way. There's no secondary meaning to that. Like it's just
Yeah.
exactly the subtext is text.
Think of I need this band to like, you know how we do like AMVs or whatever. I just need them to do like some massive edit of the sex orgy from The Boys for like the music video, for like a visualizer for this.
I may have to do it for them. I may have to go out of my way to do it for them. We do not want to miss out on that opportunity. I think you had mentioned to me on the side that "See You on the Other Side" was about a pet passing away, or am I incorrect?
Yeah,
Which is like a tradition I need to end within this scene because I just like subject matter is too much. That subject matter is too much for me.
yeah. I don't even remember the band. Who the fuck was it? It wasn't Hot
We
Mulligan.
we
was
just
it?
talked about
It
Hub
was Hot
Mulligan doing
Mulligan?
it, and then like obviously counterparts last year.
Yeah, man.
Heavy.
Yeah,
It's too
See
heavy.
You on the Other Side's about Eric's dog who passed. Smoke. It's actually a fucking good name.
Incredibly good dog name. I think overall, I would give this like a strong 4 out of 5. We're not on the Fantano scale. A strong 4 is actually very good from me personally. After our discussion about a light 2 being
Yeah.
like one of the worst things you could get, I need to clarify.
No, maybe a light 4 for me. I think that's sort of the exact same as yours because like we do like the decimal system here. So
A
I
4
don't
is a
know,
4. A
but
4 is a 4.
4 is a 4.
It's a very good release.
Very summery. Think like Neck Deep is like the band that kept popping into mind, especially with like a Kennedy.
And is far and away my favorite release from Heart Attack Man.
Yeah, I thought Thoughts and Prayers was okay, but this is like massive in comparison. Super happy with this one. Go check it out. Freak of Nature by Heart Attack Man.